And this is an early access alpha. Now, usually I refrain from purchasing early access games. I mean, considering that they're usually ridden with bugs, understandably so. I mean, especially this one in particular, it's an alpha and it's self-proclaimed as such. But there was something that attracted me to this game. It was, yes, the generic open world survival aspect of it, but there's something else too, just the whole aura of, an otherworldly environment. I guess that's what enticed me. So here are the gameplay options. You have solo play, which game-wise is rather barren, as it mainly relies on its multiplayer premise. So, of course, you have the multiplayer option here. You have options. We'll look at the options. Here are the options. Now, as you'll see, I have dynamic shadows disabled because enabling it halves my frame rate. Frame rate is quite an issue with this. Performance is an issue. Of course, it's early access, so that is to be expected, but it's frustratingly abysmal. We'll take a look at that soon. I have credits, and you can quit. So we'll skip solo play because multiplayer is essentially solo play plus. It has practically all the advantages that solo play does, and granted not many, but it has everything solo play does, but with an actual server with other actual people. Let's do the one with the least latency. Not many people are on at the moment, as is evident, so we'll take one with 6 other people. Yeah, latency is middling. We'll do this one. Connects. Now, at this point in time, I view this game as a slightly generic / formulaic open world survival game. Many of the aspects, base creation, RPG leveling, etc., they're rather commonplace in open world survival games such as these. So majority of my complaints directly correlate with the fact that this is indeed an early access title, and most of what I do list is indeed due to be expected with such a title, and hopefully my issues will invariably be addressed, not because of this video in particular, just with due time. It only runs off of 1 GPU, which likely exacerbates the performance hindrances, and overall just seems relatively unoptimized. I mean, even with a single GPU, a single 755 more specifically, it should run pretty well, even on medium settings or low settings, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Dynamic shadows, disabling dynamic shadows seems to have fixed most issues. However, there are a few unescapable frame drops that you will see. Now, the frame rate differences are quite substantial. Right now, it is running at approximately 58 FPS, which is good. But you'll see few hiccups, frame drops, etc. that are annoying to say the least. Now, to my knowledge, this game doesn't natively have VSync. I'll check just in case. And no, it does not. So you're going to have to enable that in the NVIDIA control panel or the AMD equivalent to that. But as you can see, it does not run too well. So here are the controls. I mean, it lays out the controls quite efficiently there. Let's kill this monster to level up. So it's giving me get started instructions, although I'm unsure as to why, because I have played this game before. I'm not sure if this is entirely because I'm in a different world than I was in before, or different server. I don't know if there's a distinction between the two, but I have indeed played this, but okay, I'll proceed. So once I kill this, I level up effectively. Now I'm at level 1, so I can collect whatever those were. Another frame drop. Ugh. Again, this game is horribly unoptimized, and I do have to emphasize that. It's 26 FPS. 19 I just got. Ugh. It was running at 60 not 2 minutes ago. Harvest resources. Press 2 for multi-tool. Right. So if I go to a resource. Ooh, that illuminated emerald thing of sorts seems to hold quite a few. Alright, let's continue. Let us harvest resources. Now, there's a possibility that this game may be more CPU bound than it is GPU bound. I don't know if there's a RAM allocation issue. I have heard that in a couple of places, but I don't know, perhaps. I have 8 gigs of RAM in my setup, along with an Intel Core i7-4700MQ, so it's a pretty high-end CPU. So it shouldn't have too many issues. Okay, now I'm just swatting at the air. Let us use the multi-tool, and okay. Perhaps this doesn't harvest any resources. Let us swat at it. Nope, doesn't do anything either. Huh. Tough, aggressive slime. Ugh. There we go. Level up. Okay, now I'm level 2. We're making progress at least. Yes.
Hello, consumer.
I'm sorry. I'm going to involuntarily groan after every major FPS drop because it's frustrating. Never have I had to deal with this on optimization. Then again, I haven't purchased many early access games before, so could I consume resources from you? Oh, gee, I'm just stunning you now. You're just stunning. Huh. Please, Ventroid. What? Okay. Now, to substantiate the fact that this is just horribly unoptimized, I'm going to disable everything graphically, or practically lower all the settings. And we'll see that there is no FPS difference whatsoever. I'm still getting identical readings, hovering from 24 to 40. It is identical. Again, see, there's just an FPS drop, another one. So it's just the optimization of the game. And if I were to enable dynamic shadows, all hell would break loose. At least that's what I presume. We'll see. Yeah, I'd say a decrease of 7, 8 FPS with dynamic shadows enabled. It looks nice at this point in time, but still, that it runs like crap, frankly. So if we disable that, okay, this is optimal. Yeah, so the game, it's a balance between the game looking fairly nice and the frame rate still being god awful, but is that somebody else? Hello. Let me interact with you. Huh. So the whole multiplayer aspect of the game, I mean, it's realized, but it's not exactly put to good use. I mean, I'm just parading around this person, prancing, more still, but no reaction and just more shoddy frame rates when panning. Alright, moving on. So this may be entirely due to the fact that this is an open world game, but the game just feels rather empty. There's not too much to do. Now, while the aspect of an open world may perceptibly be something of an advantage, it could be quite a bit of a disadvantage as well. The world just feels rather empty, regardless of the number of people that are also in the room. And the fact that it's an open world does not necessarily help, which is quite unfortunate. I mean, considering that the mere fact that a game is open world lends itself to a few quite admirable characteristics, but for this game, there's not much to do. Frank, that's just overall my summarization of the game. Not much to do. It's not well optimized. So if I were to give this a rating on Steam, I'd just give it a thumbs down at the moment, early access wise. I mean, we might see the game in full release, and fortunately, that is why I don't necessarily regret purchasing this, especially for $10, because I know, and I died, because I know that I'll eventually receive the game when it's fully released, but who knows how long that'll be. The sheer overabundance of games in this category, many of them share similar single-word titles. I don't see this, I don't know, there's a possibility that this game just could be reaching a standstill or an impasse, and this is quite frankly it's nice frame rate. Look back into the world. Even if SLI support was a thing at this point in time, I don't know if that would improve the game's performance, because this game just seems unoptimized as a whole. And for me, a game being unoptimized is just a game breaker for me, a deal breaker. I haven't played Watch Dogs because the performance was so abhorrent that I just wouldn't bother continuing. That and the fact that the game is just merely mediocre is way overhyped, but this isn't about Watch Dogs. There are an overabundance of videos criticizing that game. Let's climb up, see what's here. Oh no. Jeez. I'll help you. Or kill myself, sacrifice myself for you. Okay. I actually help. Okay. Any, okay. It's unrequited. No thanks whatsoever. Nothing. Okay, fine. So be it. Can you murder other people in the game? Okay, apparently you can. Sorry, but you didn't thank me. I am a murderer. I can't look at myself the same way again. And I can't look at this game the same way again without gouging my eyes out at the horrible frame rate. Not that I've ever looked at this game with much reverence in the first place, considering this game has never reached above 90 FPS, but that's when I was looking into the sky or at the crotch of this man. Yeah, just mediocre performance, not much of a purpose in the game. It's just it's more of a demo, if anything, if not much, to be honest. It's just not worth $20. $10, maybe, because then you're promised an actual game when it actually is released. But we don't have an actual release date for the game yet, or not even an estimation, so it's unsure when that will occur. Just too many caveats prevent this from being a game I'd recommend, especially at its current early access state. Now, if you regularly pick up early access games just for the purposes of beta development, I think you'd find a few redeeming characteristics. I mean, these animals of sorts, or these creatures, I mean, they're fun to slaughter, and they're fun to interact with in one way or another. And you might find something in the multiplayer aspect. I mean, these are probably, again, cue and involuntary groan. These are probably things that other people have made. I'm not going to make something as good as this within the next couple of minutes, so there's no bother trying. But I mean, it's a work in development. It's a work in progress, and that, I believe, is an understatement. But hey, that's the point of it being in early access. It's up for beta testers. I'll continue playing this game, maybe not on a daily basis, maybe just to check in week to week. But I mean, it's just not worth playing at this point in time, in my opinion. Just due to the fact that the performance is so horrible, and just due to the fact that it's mainly just because it's unpolished. I mean, I could probably find something fun to do in the world, but the horrible performance just restricts me from doing anything else. Now, if this played as static 30, I wouldn't mind, but the fact that this oscillates from 80 to 20 is just inexcusable. So, hopefully that's being worked on. I mean, I have to be forgiving because it's an early access game. But at this point in time, for $20, no, I'd say just pass, watch a few gameplay videos on YouTube, but that's probably about it. Just wait until the game is actually released, or maybe a few more months to wait to see if any performance fixes are released. At least that's what I'll patiently be waiting for. So this is Grav. We didn't actually do much, but I just wanted to talk about it, give my 2 cents on it. Whether that was of any value to you, that's left for you to be determined. But yeah, okay, let's interact with this campfire as a farewell. Ignites. That's almost beautiful. And the music is rather atmospheric, so that's nice as well. This is Grav, and you've just been Evilness99. Catch you later. Bye.